Sound of Waves, Chapter 14. The boy swam with all his might, and inch by inch, step by step, the huge mass of enemy fell back, opening the way for him. It was as though a drill were boring its way through the hardest of solid rock. The first time his hand touched the buoy, he lost his hold and was pulled away. But then, by good luck, a wave swept him forward again, and just as it seemed on the point of dashing his chest against the iron rim, lifted him up with a single sweep and deposited him on the buoy. This showed that Yasuo thinks he could do anything he wanted because he was rich. This shows the economic difference in the town and how love doesn't matter to everyone. Sometimes love can take over social status. The love between Shinji and Hatsue was so strong that money couldn't change that. Yasuo believed that because he had money, he could get anything he wanted, even someone's love. This chapter highlights the differences between Yasuo and Shinji's journey through adolescence. It overlooks the greater meaning of the book and shows you how to have to work for what you want and know when you leave fate alone. Yasuo thinks he can get what he wants because he has money. Overall, Yasuo believes that the world should be handed to him because of his wealth. While on the contrary, Shinji works for what he wants and also knows that there is a higher power out there and that he has to rely on sometimes. Even when times get tough, he still works through them. The two boys are foil characters because they grew up and live in the same place. They also love the same girl and work in the same place. They are foil because they go through the same things but handle them differently. For Shinji, the rainy season brought only one bitter day after another. In this picture, we see Shinji upset in his house. He is thinking of Hatsue being taken away by her father on their date. This made Shinji devastated because the letters from Hatsue stopped coming. Shinji is now vulnerable and upset. When the boys of the village reached the age of 17 or 18, they began their maritime training in the capacity of rice rinsers, the local word for apprentice seamen. And Shinji was at the age to be thinking about it. The captain asked if he would like to join the Utajima Maru as a rice rinser. In this picture we see Shinji and Yasuo departing on the Utajima Maru. In this scene when Shinji takes his first trip away from the island, and here he has his first thoughts of freedom. Shinji asked Yasuo if he had a photograph of Hatsue. "Sure I have," Yasuo replied immediately. Shinji knew without a doubt that he was lying. In this picture we see he is truthful and kind while Yasuo was lying and was trying to demonstrate his superiority. Because of their different kinds of attitudes, Shinji got what he wanted, and Yasuo got nothing. These two men look very similar because they are in the same exact situation, even if differently. Well, here we are at last, just the two of us to be friends. A lot of things happened on the island, but let's just forget about them and be good friends from now on. In this picture we see Yasuo and Shinji becoming friends. However, they are both still very distant towards each other. This is because they are so different. They didn't really know how to be friends. This helps to highlight the fact that they are foil characters because their lives are tangling together. It gradually became abundantly clear to the crew that Yasuo was lazy. Shinji, however, covered up for him and even did part of Yasuo's work, so this attitude of his did not become immediately apparent to his superiors. In this picture we see the bosun being infuriated, but not being able to do anything to stop Yasuo. The fact that Shinji covers up for him shows the religious and cultural habit of producing harmonious community. Oh well, anyway, when this voyage is over, I'm going to become Uncle Teru's son. Then the ship will belong to me. The bosun was in a rage, but he prudently held his tongue, telling himself it might just turn out the way Yasuo said. In this picture we see the bosun of the ship is small and does not have power against Yasuo because of his money and social status. However, Yasuo does not know that Shinji is just as powerful as him, thanks to all the work he does. In the end, in fact, he does win Yasuo because of his hard work. Which one of you fellows is going to take this lifeline over there and tie it to the buoy? Yasuo's lips quivered. He pulled his neck down to his shoulders. Then Shinji shouted out in a cheerful voice as he did so, that the white flash of his teeth shone through the blackness to prove that he was smiling. "I'll do it," he shouted clearly. In this image, Shinji depicted volunteering to swim out at sea during a typhoon to prove his hard work to Uncle Taro. This picture shows he is in the eye because he sees all. This shows the importance of the fact that he holds the men's future in his hand. He would be certain that the buoy was finally in arm's reach, and when he rose up out to the trough of the next wave, he would look for it, and find it just as far away as ever. The boy swam with all his might, and inch by inch, step by step, the huge mass of the enemy fell back, opening the way for him. It was as though a drill were boring its way through the hardest of solid rock. In this picture we see Shinji finally being able to get a hold of the buoy and tying it with the lifeline. The next day, Shinji opened his eyes to find brilliant sunshine falling across his pillow. In this picture we see Shinji waking up after his courageous adventure during the typhoon. After the unimaginable afternoon Shinji had faced the other day, he now views the glamorous open sea and the bright blue sky from the round porthole in his small bunk. This transition from the previous scene brings about the prominence of the story nearing its end with a peaceful and serene atmosphere. Thank you for watching!